Good, yes, afternoon. Yes. Good afternoon, Kenyans. This is Kenya News Alert, and I'm your host, Zulfa Wanjiru Maina Stroke Mwangi. And welcome. This is Kenya News Alert. Hapa ndo nyumbani. Hapa ndo the heart. See art. Venye Felix usema eti art ya nini? It is the heart. Ndo roho ya siasa. Sawa. Na we are here with more. Today is on the 3rd of June. It's a new month. It's my birthday month, and I'm so excited to be born kwenye huu mwezi ambao history ya Kenya ili change. As we said this morning, we said that the history of Kenya changed. The history of Kenya changed. Yes? Last year, June. Last year, say what you say. Hey, what? Energy. Can you match the energy?
Good afternoon, guys. How are you doing? I think you're good. Welcome to the show. Sawa ya saa 8 hadi hapo saa 10. Kwa jina langu mimi naitwa Tilda, na tunawapenda sana, tunawaenzi sana wanyie watu wetu, our only fans that we have in Kenya News Alert TV. We appreciate every day and every time that you are always here with us, and we are here with you. So changamkeni hapo kwa live chat. Wale wa kuwatch silent viewers pia mko pale, tunajua mko pale. We appreciate kabisa. So tukae ndani hadi tamati wakati wake pale saa 10, tukiondoka tukienda kufanya shughuli zingine za hapa na pale. Say what you wanna say.
Okay, this is what I wanna say. Sawa. So Kindiki ameweza kuongea mambo ambayo hawajanifurahisha. Kindiki ameweza kuongea mambo ambayo hajanifurahisha kabisa. At all. Ameweza kumwambia yule gavana mapenzi mabaya. So like ameweza kumwambia yule gavana wa nini? Embu Cecily Mbarire ameweza kumwambia kwamba ati and let me read in facts because I saw this and I was so shocked. So amwambia UDC Mahali Pakuanika brand Panties Zako. What is that? That is a deputy. Na hawa ndo watu wanataka wapewa heshima. Hawa ndo watu ambao they say that Gen Zs use a bad language when they're communicating. So tell me, really, is that the way to communicate to a whole grown woman who is a governor of a whole county,
who is a
mother, a sister?
Wamesikia hiyo kitu.
Tell me.
Sawa watu hii wamesikia ati mama yetu ameambiwa hivi na hivi. Na watoto wake I'm sure they are so big. Ni wakubwa sana kwa university, wengine maybe hata wameolewa, wame wengine wanafanya
kazi. Once ajala aanze kufikiria kuhusu brana Panties za mamake.
Venye zinakaa kwanza kijana na by the ananikanga UDA. Kwa sionangi mara ananika kwa hii nyumba.
Wallahi.
Yeah, by the way they start asking themselves, Matins, you are doing you utasema. Jensi, we are very nasty.
Nasty
because kwani kumbe nenda kwa nini UDA? Sionangi by the way unaona malimadana anikanga. Mimi sionangi nikana anika huko UDA. So unaona sasa leo tumeambiwa. By the way alafu sasa mtu anaenda kuuliza mamake kitu kama hiyo. Such a question.
No, in a great awkward moment.
Yeah.
Akiona mamake anafeel with that thing. Continue.
So my people, you want to be respected with us. You want us to respect you actually. You want us to call you Mheshimiwa. Okay, not bad. We call you. And we always call you Mheshimiwa, whoever. But, mbona nyinyi akina Kindiki, akina watu ambao mko kwenye government ya Kenya Kwanza, ama serikali ya Kenya Kwanza, mbona mnaongea kwa lugha ambayo si lugha sahihi, si lugha ambayo inafaa, si lugha ambayo ni nzuri sana kwa wenzenu? Mbona mnaongea lugha chafu mbele ya umati wa watu? Mbona nyinyi hamchukuliwi hatua kwa kuongea hivyo? Mbona hao watu wengine wako out of the government, when they speak when they speak these nasty words, mnachukulia is like a big thing. Lakini sasa nyinyi mkiongea, you want us to take it like a small thing that yani ni kawaida tu. Kwani brana panty ni nini? But you are saying it publicly, sawa? But mwingine akuja anza aseme haya, Ruto ni mwizi. Ruto ni muuaji. Ruto ni kasongo. Ruto aende nyumbani. Now sasa hiyo na yako, which one is better hata? Which one is better? But you are following this one mwenye amesema Ruto ni mwizi, sawa? You are following this one. Mpeleke jela, mnamfukuza kila time akifanya meeting mko naye na nini hapo. Na magoons. Yani lazima mu-destroy vitu zenye anafanya. But for you are speaking nasty words. You are using nasty words. Kabisa. Mbele ya watu, mbele ya macho ya watu. On screen, on the camera, facing the camera. Putting your mouth direct to the mic. Saying UDS Mahali Pakuanika brana panties. My dear friend, I'll start telling you now, my dear enemies, because now you are my enemies. Because like right now, working here is not a place even to have a friend in the government. You are using Kenya like a TP. Huh? Yani matutumia matutupa pale matuflash tuende. Atuende tubanduke tuondoke tuko hapa.
Don't say that.
Okay. Si ni ukweli jamani. Ni ukweli. And why? Mbona by the way, on a serious note, mbona wanaongea maneno kabisa? Yani mtu unaongea mbele ya watu kwa mic, unasongesha mdomo kwa mic hivi vizuri, unaambia watu, unaambia mtu. Kwanza unamwambia ukiwa kwa nini ground yake. Who are you? Yani sasa umefanyaje? Bado umepata tu nini kiti tu kwa muda mchache tu ambao umepewa. Unaona sasa you are big enough. You are strong enough. To go and address somebody in her place. When you UDS Mahali Pakuanika brana panties. But when other people speaks about this, when other people speaks about vitu mambo tu yana happen kwenye government, mambo ya abduction, mambo ya killings, mambo ya whatever, una feel yani mko like betrayed, mna feel like ni kama nyinyi ndio mnaua. You feel like yani, wait, people, you are not serious. Why are you playing with the country? Mbona mnafanya country ikae ni kama yenye watu hawajielewi? Our people, we are here. We know you. And we understand you. Ndio maana tunakamii wenye wao tunakam. Tunakam wenye wao tunakam. Na hivyo ndio tunakam tukireject finance bill. Tukiwaambia hiyo vitu mnaongea hazifai kuongea. We wanna just hear wenye kazi inaendelea. Sawa? Ya uongo, like right now you just lying everything every time. Yani mmekuwa tu ni waongo watu wa kudanganya kila wakati. That's not fair, and that's not good. Mtu hata akiwa kwa serikali akiongea vibaya ashikwe hata yawekwe ndani ama abductiwe. Pia na yeye afinywe venye wengine wanachukuliwa wanaenda wanafinywa. Hapana ikuwe tu watu wa opposition na hapo mnasema hao ndio wanajiabduct, wanaenda wanajifinya, wanaenda wanajipeleka hospitali. And somebody somewhere anaumia, akona machungu, akona uchungu, anahisi uchungu. And you are there standing before the people and telling people wanajiabduct. Huyo ni actor, sijui mwingine ni script writer, mwingine sijui ni nani? Sijui mwingine ni whatever. Kuna mtu wa kamera, kuna sijui nani, yani mmepanga, yani mmewapanga kabisa, ni kweli unaona ni kama script. But you know, mtu wako mahali anaumia. Juu tu aliongea, kuongea tu, kusema serikali yetu si mzuri, serikali yetu ni mbaya, ina abduct watu, inaua watu, haimind maisha ya binadamu, wananchi. Mnaenda mnamshika. Haya, Njeri ameandika tu nini reject finance bill, ameshikwa. Lakini mwingine amesema pale UDS Mahali Pakuanika Panties na bra, yeye hajachukuliwa makosa yoyote. Au sasa ndio wako right. wako na ukweli kabisa. They're the ones to speak. They're the ones to talk anyhowly, the way they want before the people. Embarrassing us everywhere. Alafu mniambie mtakosa kudharauliwa na Tanzania. Mtakosa kudharauliwa. That is the government now we have. Who is Kindiki, first of all? Who is Kindiki? The princess of the State House. Talking nasty words. Why are you laughing?
The princess.
Yeah.
The princess of the State House. What are you talking? Why are you talking nasty words?
I haven't talked nasty words. Sijaanza by then nikiamua tu nikae hapa nipewe tu permission till you can speak any word that you want.
I would speak.
Hey,
I would speak.
Unaona by the time namaliza kuongea hivi,
Jisea kwamba nakungojea.
Wanangoja nimalize. Washafika wananiongoja.
Ukaleko unaenda tu wewe malizia. Unaenda.
Because when I say speaking, Kenya itati. Ongea tu kwa Ruto, chukua tu huyu Ruto. Must study from the head to the nail toe. Hata ipenda maisha yake tena. Hata jidharau hata pia wewe mwenyewe. Atakuwa anakaa hivi ananikumbuka. Na hata hii ni sawa, hata akikufa hizi ni sawa. Anajua kweli huyu madamu huyu. Yaani hivyo ndio ananionanga. By the way, you know, hata mtu akikutukana, sawa? Lazima ujiulize swali. Mtu amekuja sawa? Hey, Jesus Christ. Mnadu. Yaani mimi usema is like mtu amekuja anaanza kukutusi. Unakaa tu mtoto. Una behave tu kama mtoto. Unajua inafoka chini uanze kujiuliza. Unajua mtu anaonanga is like amesema tu mtoto si ni binadamu. Mtoto unachukulia tu hivi. My friend, enda kaa chini vizuri. Angalia tu mtoto wakati anaanza tu akiwa tu kadogo. Sawa? Angalia tu behaviors za mtoto mwenye ana behave, vitu kwa anafanya, mpaka mwenye anagurua anakuja ndio afike mzima kama wewe. Alafu mtu anakuambia unakaa tu kama mtoto. Mtoto huwa anafanya vitu zingine hata ukiangalia hivi unamwangalia unashangaa sasa. Hii ni mtu ama ni nini? Sometimes when you are being abused, mtu amekuja tu anakutusi
While you're saying the word abused, and I remembered something. I remembered that not Billy but Boniface Mwangi. Aki au Mwangi anapitia vitu. When Boniface Mwangi was abducted in the Tanzanian soil, yesterday they talked about the ordeals that they had to go.
They had to
go through. The ordeals that they had to go through, and one of them was that he was sexually abused. In fact, the producer is going to play that video in a few. No, we have to kuangalia vitu fulani. And Samia stands and says, I'm going to quote what Samia said. And that was a grown man crying, saying that he was abused sexually. Na tunajua kama he was abused sexually, obviously, if he was abused sexually, it is only one place that he can get abused sexually. Sindio? So he said, that, so Samia says, let me quote, I want to see it. I want to see exactly the thing that she said. Just a moment. I want to read it. Some of these leaders is like they are forgotten, you know? It's like they are forgetting. She said, sawa, that hakuna mtu aliyevujwa makalioni. Huyu nasema
nasty thing.
Nasty words.
Soma tunataka kusikia hiyo maneno nasi kama deputy anaweza simama mbele ya watu na aseme panty na bra, what's that? Hizo ni nguo za ndani.
People from that TV are not really good. Sawa? Akasema ya kwamba hakuna mtu aliyevujwa makalioni. Sawa? Nyie wa Kenya mnapenda kiki sana kutushinda sio wa Tanzania. Mtu ambaye amevujwa makalioni utamuona, utamjua. Huyu Boniface anakaa kweli? Hajavujwa makalio.
Alikuwa anakaa, mbona alikuwa anatembea kitabataba?
He said, and that video I'm going to send, that they asked him to wiggle. Continue because we need to address this issue. Continue as I send that video.
But the time, I think you guys, you saw the time Mwangi was coming back from Tanzania that time. Mliona venye this person alikuwa nani? Anatembea. Alikuwa pia hata mpaka ameshikiliwa, haezi move. And then somebody comes and says, hakuna mtu amefanyiwa kitu. Hiyo ni umbea tu. Jamani, najua kuna vitu ambavyo unaweza fanyia mtu ama unaweza fanyia mwenzako kadhani kuwa hajaona, hajasikia, hajajua, ila amekunyamazia tu. Lakini siku ambayo itafika aanze kusema kuwa nilifanyiwa hivi na hivi na hivi. I know some people will not believe and others will believe. Na lazima kukue hivyo. Hata mimi nikikuja hapa nianze kuambia nimekimbizwa na DCI, hakuna mwenye atabelieve. Na kuna wale watabelieve, inaweza kuwa ukweli, na njoo pia apendangi Ruto. So inaweza
Let me tell you that DCI thing. Wale na huyo bro mali yako Mungu tu akwe na mweka vizuri. Sawa? That one day, actually, and this is a really, really serious thing. Sawa? There's a day that Felix and I were followed by DCI cars. Sawa? And I remember even the boss wanted to stop the entire thing because it was getting out scary. Sawa? And I told someone, they called
Kurukumen.
So when you say that people are going to believe you, yeah, they're people going to believe that. So when you want to believe what I'm doing is to Jabez, but nah. People are being abducted huku. Sisi Rose njedia kwa ndani. Alishikwa ile kushikwa ya polisi hapana. What is let us dismantle the police, because we are not even using the police anymore. We are not using the police anymore. We are using DCI and other people that don't even know if they're DCI or they're just people from the forest.
Tabu Kenya hii imekuwa mingi jamani. Na mambo pia yanakuwa kila siku. Yani niliwaambia, by the way, if you wake up in the morning, mi usema, if you wake up in the morning, my dear friends, first of all, confirm, do you still have your voice? That's when you're praying. Confirm, are you still walking? Confirm, can you still raise your hand? Can you still open your eyes? Can you hear? Confirm hizo vitu. And then take your phone. Enda pale X. Ingia TikTok. Ingia YouTube. Mpaka utasema, kwani watu hawalali? Watu hawalali nyinyi. Watu hawalali. Yani vitendo vinafanyika kila siku, kila wakati. Kila sekunde. Things are happening. Things are already down. Jamani, that's my word. Until Kenya siku itakuwa sawa. Things are already down. Ile tunaambiwa it's about to go. It's not about to go down. It's not about to go down, my dear friends. It's already down. The producer says like the video is ready.
And I said we'll share what happened to us. So when I went to Tanzania on July 18th. May 18th. Yeah, May 18th. I went to Tanzania on May 18th. We were going there as activists to attend Tundulisu's hearing, which was supposed to happen on Monday the 19th. And I was in the same flight with Mother Karua and other activists. There were 8 of us on that particular flight. And when we landed, 3 of us were separated. That was Mother Karua, Gloria, and Lynn, and they were deported. I was able to get into the country legally, and my passport was signed and stamped with an entry stamp. I went to my hotel, and I checked in, and I relaxed. And then on the 19th, and then on the 19th, like the early morning hours of Monday, some men came to my room and they were knocking, and they were very violent in their knocking. And they were demanding that I go with them, and I said, I can't leave my hotel room at that hour of the night. I said, I need a lawyer. And then at 3:30 a.m., some lawyer showed up and said, oh, these people are police officers, we should go with them. And I said, no, I can't leave my room at night. And I barricaded myself in my room until morning. When morning came, I called, Agatha had come from a different flight, and she was in the same hotel with me, and I called Agatha. I was meant to check out the same day on Monday morning, so I called Agatha and I said, come pick my bags for me and keep the bags in your room for safety purposes, and also because I was supposed to leave the country the same day. So Agatha came to my room and picked my bags. When she picked my bags, I went downstairs, and I found the same people who had come at night who were waiting for me, but there were more of them now. There were about maybe 10 to 12 people who were waiting for me. They followed me to the bathroom, and they wanted to arrest me. I screamed in the entire hotel and ran away back to where my colleagues were. They followed me there. They said, oh, we just need to take you for questioning. Where is your phone? I said, I don't have a phone. So they picked me up, took me to migrations, and they told me to write a statement, which I did. I was fingerprinted, photographed, and then they said, now we need to get your phone. I said, I don't have a phone. I don't know where my phone is. And they took me back to the hotel and reviewed the CCTV of the hotel, and they saw that Agatha came to my room and left with my bags. And that's when Agatha was arrested, taken to her room, which was ransacked. They did not find my phone or my laptop. They took us back to the immigration's office, and Agatha was interrogated for hours, for about 2 hours without lawyers. We went there with 3 lawyers from Tanganyika Law Society, but they're not allowed where Agatha was. They interrogated her. Around 6 p.m., I got a call from the Kenyan ambassador to Tanzania, Mr. Isaac Jenga, who told me I was going to get deported from Tanzania. And I was like, okay, I'm happy to go home. Around 6:30, or maybe some few minutes after 6, some guy came who said he was from the state office or state security, and he started beating me up. I was being beaten at the presence of my lawyers and Agatha. He started calling me, saying that I'm an inmate, I'm coming to destroy their country, and I'm a problem, they're going to teach me a lesson. And then he said that we're under arrest. So we were moved from immigration's office, me and Agatha, to Central Police Station, where we found a guy called, we later came to know he's called Mafuele. At the station, the beating continued in the presence of those 3 lawyers who said nothing. And they said we must produce our phones. When Agatha was being arrested during the day, they found her phone. So they had Agatha's phone, but they did not have my phone. I did not give them my phone. I didn't even have a phone at that particular moment, but they said that they're going to teach me a lesson I'll never forget. At that session is where they said they're going to rape Agatha. That guy called Mafuele said he's going to rape Agatha. We stayed there for a couple of hours between, I think, 6 and 8, the slaps, the beatings. And then the lawyers were chased away and were told if they don't go, they'll be investigated. And the exact words that guy told them, nyinyi tutapima uzalendo wenyu. And that meant that we're going to measure the patriotism of those particular lawyers if they did not leave the station. So the lawyers left us. And when the lawyers left us, they did not tell our families that we were being beaten and being harassed and being threatened, because Mafole asked me in front of those lawyers, are you circumcised? I said, I'm circumcised. I said, we're going to circumcise you again. So there's a lot of threats and beatings. I was only being beaten at that station. They did not attach Agatha. So while we were there, they kicked us out of the room, and I said, I want to go to the bathroom. So someone took me to the bathroom. The young man who took me to the bathroom told me, these guys are going to hurt you, and they're going to hurt you so bad. Give them your phone. I said, I don't have my phone. And my fear was, because we had gone to Uganda, Tanzania rather, with many other activists, and if I lose my phone, or if they get my phone, they get hold of everyone that I was talking to in the country. So I could not give it my phone or my laptop. So I went I went to the bathroom, came back, and we were told to wait outside. Mafole made a phone call to someone, and a few minutes later, some guys came, 6 or 7 of them, very mean-looking people with one lady. It was at, Dar es Salaam is very hot, but they were all wearing half jackets, and the smelling of alcohol. They looked so evil. So when we went to the central police station, there was a staircase on this side, so we came in through this staircase, but where we were, there was another private staircase where they took us out with. They took us downstairs to the car, and we were blindfolded and handcuffed on the back. And it was a white Land Cruiser. At the back, there were like a lot of sticks and a lot of fake number, like a number of number plates in that car. The guy across me had an AK-47. They were all in civilian clothes. So Agatha sat. It was a Land Cruiser. Agatha sat this seat. I was this other side in a face me position. And they drove off. Then they took us, drove for about 20 minutes. Then they took us to a building. To this place where they went to torture us. When you go there, they told me to get off the car, I came out, and then they banged the door on my face. I had a mark here, I don't know if it's still there. I don't know what they were waiting for. I think they were putting some things ready. They got me out. I was still handcuffed and blindfolded, and they told me to strip naked. And I stripped naked. When I stripped naked, they removed my handcuffs, and then I was grabbed by about 4 men, and they lifted me up so fast. Before they lifted me, actually, they put some gloves on my hands. Then they lifted me up. They lifted me up and tied me upside down. There's a photo I saw online about what they did to us. It's in my bag. You can distribute when I'm done talking. So we were put on upside position where my legs were up like this. My body's up. I'm stuck naked. And then they started beating my feet. So they would beat me and massage my feet. Beat me and massage my feet. I was screaming so hard, I couldn't even, there was no tears coming out because of how painful it was. One of them said, put his hand in his mouth. So they put my hand in my mouth. And they would tell me, stop screaming. The kids are sleeping. And then to drown my screams, they opened the car because I could hear them. They were playing gospel music in the background. They beat me. Then they removed the underwear from my mouth, and they started questioning me, asking my name, where are you from, why are you here, who sent you, why are you coming to destabilize our country? And then they said, Wekamoto. So some guy put lubricant in my rectum, in my anus, and then started inserting objects. They insert objects and put it out. Dude. they would put objects in my anus and then say you're feeling nice, say you're feeling good. Then you say Asante Samia, Asante Samia. So I say Asante to their president. Then they'll push hard and then pull it out again. I did that. See, I started bleeding. And they dropped me. Then I'm still blindfolded. They took me to a wall and then told me to face the wall and then squat. Then a man came and was putting his fingers in my anus and then saying that, say you're feeling nice, say you're feeling good, say Asante Samia. Then they would do that, and then they would do that. And then they told me to turn around, I'm naked. So all this time they're telling me they're recording everything they're doing to us, or rather they're doing to me. So they're recording this. They're teaching me a lesson. So I'm stuck naked. They turn me around, say your name, your wife's name, your kid's name, where do you live, where do they go to school. I'm naked. And they removed the blindfold and said, now, so when I'm answering these questions, when I turn around, when I'm answering these questions, they are just threatening me. So like when they're abusing me, they're saying I should feel good and say thank their president for doing that to me, like Sema Sande Sana, Sane Sana. So they told me we have recorded these videos so that if you go back to your country and you say what we did to you, we shall put them on. And you see this. So while I was naked, they questioned me, asked me my email address, my password, everything. And because I was in so much pain and I was afraid they're going to hurt me some more, I gave them everything they wanted. Then they told me to dress up. And that's when they took over to go and torture Agatha. They put back the blindfold, told me to dress up. I dressed up, put back the blindfold, and then left me on the ground. So we spent the night on that floor. I could barely walk. I was bleeding. And then I could hear Agatha screaming. And one of the men was there saying, why don't you give me permission to rape her? Because this one is like big good. She looks very nice. Let me just allow me to shusha muzigo, like let me rape her. So I don't know what happened to Agatha, but I could just hear her screaming. The following morning, on Tuesday morning, they came and they told us to remove our clothes and to go shower. So my feet were swollen. I could not walk, so I begged them to allow me to crawl like a dog so that I could go to the bathroom. I crawled like a dog to where the bathroom was. That's when they removed my handcuffs. So when I was stripped naked, I still had the handcuffs. That's when they removed the handcuffs and told me to take a shower. I was still bleeding, my stool had blood. And there's a man with an AK-47 standing there, like wearing civilian clothes. After that, they gave me fresh change of clothes. They were just insulting me, and took me to another white Land Cruiser, still blindfolded, and they took me away. And that's the last time I saw Agatha until now, when she came to Kenya. So that was on Tuesday morning. And then we drove and we drove and we drove and we drove for hours and hours until it got dark. I told them I wanted to use the bathroom. They said you can't leave the car. So they gave me a bottle to pee. I was still blindfolded and handcuffed. Then eventually at night, I don't know where we ended up to, they took me to a room where they left me there. They gave me like a soda and a loaf of bread. That was on Tuesday night. So I slept there. I could hear it was like a coastal place because I could hear the call for prayers, and there was like a warmth and a lot of mosquitoes. Spend the night there. They just come, insult me or kick me and go. Come, insult me, kick me and go. And then on Wednesday morning, they gave me they gave me a cup of tea and an andazi. Then that Wednesday during the afternoon, their tone changed. They said, now we're going to let you go, but you're going to let you go with a very on your kali, which means like a stern warning that if you leave this country, you should never come back or we'll kill you. If you go to your country and say what we did to you, we'll find you and we'll kill you. And you should never come back. So they said, do you want to eat? I said, I don't, for they didn't have an appetite. The other thing is that because every time I wanted to go to the bathroom, they'd actually go there and stand by me like they're inspecting my stool. So I could not, I didn't have any privacy. And the only time the handcuff came up is when I went to the bathroom. But the blindfold never came out. So that afternoon they gave me a painkiller. And on Wednesday evening, they told me now you have to learn how to walk because I could barely walk. So they told me to remove, I was wearing open shoes, took me outside. 4 officers surrounded me, they're all in civilian clothes. They stood there, removed the blindfold, said now you have to walk and make sure you try and step your feet on the ground. Step your feet. Said we're going to let you go, but don't ever come back in this country. So they taught me how to try and walk. They made me walk for like half an hour. I said that's enough. And then the following morning, on Thursday morning, they woke me up so early. Maybe around 4:35 a.m. They put my things in the car, put me in the car, and then drove for like an hour. Stopped briefly, and then when they stopped briefly, they spoke outside, then drove again, then stopped again. Then told me, you're going to drop whatever you're going to drop. You don't open your eyes, don't turn back, don't look at us until you leave. So they told me, Lala Chini, they kicked me out, slept there on the floor, on the side of the road. And then when I opened my eyes, there was a Boda Boda guy waiting for me. I think they'd already done a deal with the Boda Boda guy. That Boda Boda guy drove me to the border, which land was the Horo border, the Tanzania-Kenya border. When they released me, they gave me 20,000 Tanzanian shillings and 400 Kenya shillings. This is that's your transport. And so at the border, I got someone who helped me push my bag, and I gave them the money, the 20,000 Tanzanian shillings. And then he helped me cross over. Then I went to take a border and call my wife. When we went to Tanzania, we went there as friends of Tundu Lissu and friends of Tanzanians. I'm an East African, I have an East African passport, and I'm allowed to travel freely within the region, because that's the deal we are. Like we're a regional bloc. I did not go to that country legally, and I did not commit a crime. And that's why they did not take me to any court. So I was able to come back to this country. But when I came back, and when I go to the airport here in Nairobi, I asked the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and which is the same thing that I'm asking today. I said I was going to the hospital, and I wanted my medical report to be public of what they did to us. And I'm going to share the medical report today, and it's going to be circulated. Because I'd like the world to know of the very heinous things they did to us, to break us. And they did that to silence us and put fear on us. And it's something that we learned that most Tanzanian activists go through similar things. They arrest you and they take you through sexual torture and tell you if you speak, you're going to humiliate you to your family and all that. And it's what they did to us is it breaks me. I'm not the same, but I know I'm going to heal. And I wanted to share this because we have decided we should not be silenced. And we should let the world know what happened to us. Yeah, so my government let me down. My government sided with Suluhu's government and said we're interfering with Tanzanian politics. We were not interfering in Tanzanian politics. We went there as visitors, and we did not hide the reasons for our visit. I've been to Tanzania before to visit another political prisoner, Freeman Boy, who was Chadema's leader before Tundu Lissu. I was in Uganda when Bobi Wine was under house arrest. I went to Uganda when Stella Nyanzi was in jail, visited her in jail. I've done that in many other African countries because I'm an African. And I belong to this continent, and Africa is home. So that's why we're here. So we're here to share our story and to say that our bodies might be broken, but our spirits are strong. Forgive my tears, it's just that, man, my heart is not good, man.
So yeah, hi everyone. I think everything Boniface has said is what I went through. Of course, everyone experiences what happens to us differently. So I will just focus on a few things that I thought about during that time. So the first time they put us in that car, the car is very dark, but they thought it important to add a blindfold. It's very tinted, very dark. Where they were putting me to sit, that's in the middle chair. There were guns. They had to first remove them so that I sit. So I am seated in the middle of two people, the one woman on that squad and another man. Boniface is behind, also in the middle of two people, and there's another two people in front, so 6 people. So they blindfolded me, and I felt like I was suffocating. It was as if they have covered my nose, my mouth, and I couldn't breathe. I'd never been blindfolded my whole life. What's funny is that I thought that they would come. I knew that they would come. I just didn't know it would come in Tanzania. I have lived looking over my shoulders in Uganda, where I have made so many powerful enemies because of my work. So it was strange that the day I had dreaded, that I had known would come someday, was coming in Tanzania, where I hadn't done absolutely anything, not even go on the street to protest, which is also right, but at least they could have that excuse. They picked me from a hotel I was in. The hotel, which was shocking, was very happy to give them everything, access to our rooms. You know, like it looked normal to them. The lawyers we went with, and it was good that we knew what was happening in Tanzania. It was good to appreciate, because I have never seen where lawyers cannot say anything. We left that police station. So we'd been detained at immigration office for about 4 hours. We were at a police station for another 1 hour. They dismissed the lawyers, and the lawyers came to tell me, they have told us, you are being detained overnight. We will find you here in the morning. And I'm asking them a question, on what charge? Because after 5 hours, we don't know what charge. When I was being questioned, questions moved from Bonnie's gadgets, and I said, I don't have them. You came to my room, the only property of Bonnie's, you saw it, you checked it. From Bonnie's gadgets to what are you doing in Tanzania? Okay, when did it become a crime to go to Tanzania? But I came here legally. My passport was stamped. There's no notice anywhere that has said Tanzania is not allowing nationals into its country. Why were you at Tundu Lissu's trial? Well, 1, I know Tundu Lissu. 2, I am a journalist. Part of your job is to be at a trial. 3, it was a public trial. I wasn't the only one there. It was a full court. How is it possible that I'm the only one here being questioned about that? Why didn't you bring everyone who was there? And many were evidently not Tanzanians. They were whites. Tundu Lissu's legal team introduced diplomats that were there and us that had come from East Africa to observe the trial. then it became, so they are going through my passport. They had taken it from me, and they are being angered by my passport having so many visas. So that's where this whole narrative of whites have sent you to disorganize us came from. Why do you have so many visas? How do you travel to all these countries? Where do you guys make your money? I should be an activist too if it makes you guys live such a life. And so at some point I asked them, may I be told what question, what issue you have brought me here to address? Because it was moving from all over the place, and I think what Boniface didn't tell is that because they are used to not being challenged, questioned, or even answered, so they found two people and they called us arrogant. But it was confidence of, I haven't committed any crime, I know my rights, I haven't broken any law, so every time you're asking me a question, I am going to answer. And there are questions they would ask, and I would say, but how is this question related to why I'm here? Do you have children? I said, what have my children got to do with this? And like Bonnie said, so we are being questioned by so many people. That room had, I think the room at the immigration office had around 7 people. All of them, every time I say something, they jeer with so much anger. It was as if we had done something very personal to them. So up to the point where we go to the police station. And this is something I've wanted to emphasize. So I come from a country that is also very dictatorial, full of impunity, but I never thought that one day I've found a country that is worse, a government that is worse. So my shock was that we are in the hands of public officials. They picked us from the hotel. They told our colleagues, because the Elder General Ulimwengu asked the guy, I remember the first name being George, what's the issue? Why are you taking them? And they said, just for them to help us with some investigations, answer some questions. So the feeling was that let's not be accused of blocking any form of investigations. We have gone to answer the questions they have, however ridiculous, however disagreeable they are. But so these people know that the world, many people already know we are in their hands. We are taken to a police station. We're in the hands of a police officer. I am sure, like in any other East African country, even in Tanzania, the mandate of police officers, the core one, is to protect citizens and their property. So we are in the hands of people that are supposed to protect citizens. But this person, that guy that was, we later to learned his name to be Faustin Mafere, called thugs to pick us from a police station, from his custody, without a care of, I am untouchable. Not just here in Tanzania, but everywhere. So in Uganda, they kidnap people. They torture people also. It's not a secret. But at least they kidnap you from a street so that no one knows who exactly is responsible for this. And many times they would deny, no, we don't know where he is or where she is. Here, the public officials were not afraid at all of being the ones to call thugs, to send us to thugs to do what they did to us. And for me, that's a level of impunity that I cannot fathom, that we are at that stage where people, of course, when I was still shocked, I saw members of parliament also saying Martha Karua should have been raped or sent back home on oxygen, and they were openly in parliament. If that doesn't scare East Africans, that we are at that barbaric level, and for them sexual violence is a go-to thing, like it's the first thing they think of. So anyway, so when we were taken, what they did to Boniface is exactly what they did to me. They get me out of the car. After they took Boniface, they had increased the volume of the gospel music they were playing. At first, I didn't know why, but I had Boniface screaming, and I knew they were trying to block that, me from hearing that. So they violently picked me out of that vehicle, and they also ordered me to strip naked. Now, I was afraid. You know, many people think I don't get afraid. I mean, I know people who say it seems fear is not in Agatha's DNA, but I was afraid. You know, I first got afraid when they blindfolded us. I think I had a moment of like almost a panic attack because always my fear was being tortured. I always thought, I wish the day they get me, I have like poison and I swallow it so that I don't go through so much pain, so much humiliation. So I was afraid when they picked us up, and then I told myself, there's nothing you can do. There's no way out. There's no one saving you. You are blindfolded. You are like that sort of suffocation where there's no way out. So I found myself having this calm of accepting, you know, whatever happens will happen. You have to prepare yourself for it. Now, when they say take off your clothes, I realized that I hadn't prepared myself for that. So, of course, I hesitated. I'm so afraid. It had already been clear these are not people who have come to talk to you for a conversation where you can even beg or whatever. No, they had come with one instruction: inflict as much pain as you can. So before I say anything, there's one. I remember the first blow was on my back because I didn't undress immediately. And after that blow, they started taking off the clothes themselves, as forcefully, as violently as you imagine, because they're taking off and you're even about to fall down, because I had a jumper that is very tight in the neck, so by the time they get it out and everything, they take everything off. So there are layers of vulnerability. That is like the topmost. You're already in the hands of criminals, clearly. You're already blindfolded. Now you've been stripped naked. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what's in front of you in your, complete nakedness and all. So yeah, they tie me up. They first handcuff me, but before handcuffing me, they put my jumper that I was wearing to put the handcuffs on top. But still, it still left marks anyway. Yeah, so they tie my arms to my legs, and they also, put like something wood, like a stick in between, and then they carry me upside down like that. And the rest is everything they did to Boniface. They are inserting something in your anus so bad, like so deep, you want to beg them to actually rape you in the right place, because you are thinking it can't be as painful as this. Of course, that's in the moment of that pain. But after that, you thank God that now you're not dealing with HIV, other diseases, being, So they didn't use their sexual organs. That was, and I had to say, a relief with all that happened, but it could have been worse. I didn't see a way out of that. I didn't think we'd get out of that alive. It brings me to what I have, wanted to tell the citizens of East Africa. We are alive because of you. And it's important that we've now understood that as East African citizens, we are on our own. We are on our own, and we were saved by you ordinary people. No guns, no office, no money, no nothing. The noise everyone made. They had thought it would be like those Tanzanians that they kidnap and torture and kill, and it goes quietly. No one knows them. So I think when he's talking about his government letting him down, at least they pretended and put out a statement. Mine didn't. Because for our governments, it was good riddance. Someone else is getting rid of our headaches. Why would they care about that? But the people of East Africa who have now understood that we only have each other. We have no government. We have no police that, as constitutionally mandated, that protects their citizens. And you guys showed up so big that that our tormentors, when they took me from Dar to another place, if you check the distance from Dar to Mutukula, the border with Uganda, is about 1,480 kilometers. So I was driven that distance. This is someone who had flown into Dar with my own ticket. I had a return ticket. I showed it to them. So I think the distance being long and whatever, there's one of the tormentors who became friendly. And the day, I think this was Wednesday morning, after I'd spent half the night in a different detention center, which looked exactly like where they tortured us from. When you saw the facilities, like the toilet where they would take off the blindfold, the toilet was the same, the bucket that is in there, so it was also another government detention center. And I started refusing to eat. By this time, they were giving us painkillers to heal our injuries. Like Mani said, we couldn't walk. For 3 days, I couldn't step down. The feet were so swollen. Has your skin ever become so tight that you think if you stepped on something, it would prick it or it would burst? That's how under my feet were. And we couldn't walk. So they kept giving me painkillers. They almost overdosed me on them because I later saw the paper that had the painkillers. It was saying 1 times 2, but I think they gave it to me. There's a time they gave it to me 4 times a day. So now I realize they are interested in us going out in a better shape. So I refuse to eat, so that now it's urgent for them to let me go. So this guy comes to plead with me to eat and says, these people didn't know they had arrested you're very popular. Everyone is looking for you, and shows me some of the protests that were happening. I think he opened either Facebook and I saw Hussein and Hanifa at the Tanzanian embassy with our photos and placards. And that's what overwhelmed them. I think, because when we're going through, and the things are so many to tell you, there's just no time. So when we are being driven from that detention center in Dar, so at first I think they're taking us back to the police station because that's what they had told our lawyers. Then the drive becomes so long. Then I think maybe they're taking us to the airport. Then it still becomes so long. People who were picked at around 9 a.m., nightfall came and were still driving. And the car is being driven so fast. I cannot describe to you the psychological torture. You're blindfolded. You're still with these killers. So I think the psychological torture of those days of driving for me was worse than the physical torture I endured earlier. Because I kept thinking they are going to throw us in the park to be eaten by animals. Or sometimes I would hear as if the ocean is roaring near us, and I would think they would throw me in the ocean. And you're thinking that, you would be one of those people whose families never know whether you're dead or alive, whether you would return or not. And I went through that for the whole day and night. So we're saved by ordinary people. And it's from ordinary us East Africans that justice will come. I think when everyone would ask, can we help you with something? Do you need something? Especially those that are powerful, the diplomatic community. I found so many messages on my phone from some of them in Uganda, and I would say, the only thing I want is justice. It's what kept me going in that situation. I was feeling so much pain, and that whole night I asked, what did we do to deserve this? What's the point to this pain? And I came to a consolation that maybe the point to this pain is that other Tanzanians, the Tanzanians have told you that are picked up and tortured and killed and no one knows them. It's that they get justice. It's that no one else, not a Tanzanian, not an East African, has to go through that. Is that that impunity is somehow checked, somehow. And I thought, you know, Boniface and I both have a name and a profile and platforms that how many people can call journalists and you fill up a room like this? How many ordinary Tanzanians can do that? So in that moment, I thought that maybe it had to take our pain for the world to know what an ordinary Tanzanian is going through. And for me, that gave me some hope in that moment. That even if I died, it would probably not be in vain, because the facade of Tanzania is peaceful. Of it has a female president who is phenomenal. Finally goes off. And so if it goes off, but people that have the power to hold these accountable do not, like we know they won't, because for our governments, it is a collaboration in that dictatorship, in that tyranny. It has been for a while. It has been. We have known that for a while. When Ugandans are kidnapped from Kenya, when a Tanzanian is almost kidnapped from Kenya. So it becomes that we are the ones that will do that. And of course, Kenyans were already doing a good job by publishing all those people's names, phones, pictures. So we have to use the little power we have to make sure that guy Mbarire, who thought he does not only own Tanzania but the whole world, because I am later told of how the Tanganyika Law Society president calls him asking about us, and he says, we will do whatever we want with them and there's nothing you or anyone else can do. He told that to the Tanganyika Law Society president. So we need to find a way of getting justice in one way or the other. And so I think mainly that for me, I am grateful. I look at the silver lining in every dark place, and there was that we are all now tormenting them. When I became a journalist, my first editor told me that the role of a journalist is to afflict the comfortable. So they've been comfortable in their impunity, and we'll have to find ways of afflicting them. We won't find justice in Tanzania, because this was a state doing that, and it's the state that is supposed to get us that justice. But we'll have to find justice somehow. I will end by saying that I don't even care about the people that inflicted pain on us. I'm not angry with them. I am so angry with the people that made that order. Even if we never identify those that actually inflicted pain, but we get the ones that had the responsibility. If I have committed a crime, charge me for it. In that moment, I thought we were dealing with probably overzealous officers, and the president didn't know what had happened. But I come out and I'm told about a statement she gave. So you are condoning torture. You are a president. So you're sort of saying, oh, they came to destabilize us. They came to cause chaos. So, okay, if you think that's a crime, take me to court, let me be charged, let me be in prison. But you can't be a whole head of state, a whole president, and you're going to very shamelessly, publicly condone torture, sexual violence. I'm going to stop there. And I thank you very much again. I hope all the citizens from Kenya are watching, all the citizens from Uganda and Tanzania. Tanzania also, a few people beat the fear and spoke about our disappearance and our ordeal. So I thank you all, and yes, thank you for your time.
And I think the other thing, the backlash from our arrest, some people had to flee the country. So we have some people who are Tanzanians and were like our hosts in the country. They've been forced to flee the country because they've been looked for. And our heart goes to them. I think there's a statement that's supposed to be read, and then we can do a Q&A once the statement is read. So we do the Q&A. So you can do the Q&A and then the medical report. Okay.
I think we should do the medical report for since we have some legal avenues.
Please retain your focus here, after which we have a statement expanding on the context in East Africa.
Yes, Steve. Santi.
They were really looking for your body. Did they eventually manage to get it? And the people who were supposed to be, how safe are they if they got your phone?
Do you want to answer that? You had a question about, was it worth it?
Yeah, let me answer that. So, as telling Bonnie, and maybe this is a question we need to speak about here, every journalist or activist has that worry of security for our devices, and so in that moment when we thought we are going to be killed, I'm asking myself, but at what point do you put your life over the gadgets? As journalists, we are told that there's no story worth your life. So I am thinking there's no gadget worth your life. So as a journalist, I always think that I will not give my gadget willingly if it compromises the security of sources. Because in those governments, in this security, whatever, you have some people that give you information, and those ones you want to protect with your life. Now, for Bonnie's phones, I don't know what was on it, and I was asking, did he think through and assess whether this is worth it? And we had this conversation for the first time because I didn't see him until just, was it yesterday? But one? Saturday when I came to Nairobi, and he was giving me this explanation of, but we have people we are working with. We have friends in Tanzania. But I'm still saying, I would only, and that's me. I think that's a moment where everyone has to rationalize and think about what's the best. I'm still thinking people we're working with were not working on anything, any crime, any secret. If we were a rebel group that is trying to overthrow these people that should be overthrown, by the way, I would say that I don't want them to find that I was working with Manasseh or with, but there was no crime. Even if they had found that I am in Tanzania with General Ulimwengu, they wouldn't find me saying, let's keep the guy here. There's no conversation that is criminal there. Yes, because we are dealing with rogue people who might endanger them, but I just like to stand in truth. I had been very transparent from the time they asked me that this is what I'm here for. These are people who are colleagues. When they're in trouble, we show up to show solidarity. So if it was in my case, I would have said, okay, you can have them. Look at what I was doing. Look at what we agreed that let's be here for Tundu Lissu's case. But all through that, I thought that was Bonnie's decision to make, not mine. I think everyone here, even you guys, if you are in that sort of situation, it's you to think through it and assess, do maybe a cost-benefit analysis or risk analysis, if it were in my case. And I know you will never find me engaged in crime. So if my phone means saving my life, I'll give it to you. You're not going to find anything that is, So Bonnie can say,
I did not think you were going to be tortured because of the phone, so I thought I'd given Agatha some of my gadgets, and she passed the gadget to someone else. And my problem was, if Agatha says we should give them to, then they pick that other person, then they'll pick another person, and then we'll be all arrested in the same hotel, because all of us in the same hotel. So I thought it was a risk worth taking, but I never thought they were going to torture me, because my arrest was very public. So the gadgets were never found, and some brave Kenyans were able to smuggle them back to the country. Yes.
But there was never any
criminal
such warrant also for our... Nothing. So it was all illegal from the start. It was an illegal process.
Yes.
sorry for what you went through. You've spoken about seeking for justice. And I'm wondering, have you filed any kind of complaint against the Tanzanian authorities, or are there plans to pursue any legal action?
So we're filing a case in Tanzanian court. We're going to sue the Tanzanian state in Tanzania.
And we are going to sue them in every other avenue. Where we will find justice is where, because the international justice process requires that you first exhaust local avenues, and we have to do that. But like I said, we cannot expect justice from Tanzania, but we want to exhaust all other avenues, regional, the EACJ, which unfortunately also sits in Tanzania. And that also makes you wonder if we'll get justice from that, the African court, and political avenues. If there are sanctions because for me, I have been saying, let's identify these people and put them out there. If we can get sanctions for them, so we are really trying to say, let's exhaust all avenues and we see where we'll get some sort of remedy. And the lawyers have been working on that. Yeah, so we are going to go everywhere until we find where we can find justice. Yes.
Can we get someone else and then? Yes.
Hi, I'm Zako Radio Club. Thank you so much for sharing this. You mentioned the lack of ordeal response from the respective governments. Do you suspect that they could have known more than what you said?
Well, when Mafole began beating me at the police station with the other officers, Mafole said that he knows about me, that I was involved in the Kenyan protest, and I burnt Kenya's parliament down, and I was a troublemaker. So there was a bit of information from the torturers that could only come from Kenyan authorities. And I think for them to escalate from an arrest to torture, they had to think that the government doesn't care about us. And that's why Agatha was saying that if it wasn't for Kenyans and Tanzanians and Ugandans who spoke about our plight and our arrest, would have disappeared forever. Our government was complicit in that torture. And if you look at our Foreign Affairs Minister Mudavadi, when he spoke, he did not apologize to me. He apologized to Tanzanians that we took our bad manners to Tanzania. So it's very clear that our government had a role to play in our torture.
So it's maybe anecdotal. We don't have any proof that they were involved, but there's corroborative evidence or circumstantial. When
it should be a somber situation, not laughing. So nimemsikiza yule kaka na yule kaka ndo amenifanya nikafeel vibaya kwanza. How does someone rape you and tell you to say thank you? How does someone really abuse you that way? That is messing with you psychologically, physically, and mentally. If you look at that man is emotionally broken. But I am loving the courage of Boniface Mwangi to come and say, to come and really use his humiliation for the better. Because, you know, when someone is raped, when someone is anyhowly, is there a word like anyhowly? When someone is hata njia gani, aweze Tila, you just speak as I search for the real word. Anything that comes with rape, it just touches me mahali pabaya. Yanigusa mahali pabaya sana. It becomes personal. Kwa usually ask, mtu hawezi kutosha another way. Vidole vyako wewe, unaona uviki kwenye makalio ya mtu wewe. Baba shika adabu, tena uzishike vizuri. This girl amesema they did that and she felt that they should just rape her kawaida. Yani unadungwa and you know, see it in bare hands.
It's not their bare hands. Wako na gloves. Sawa? Na walikuwa walikuwa wanawahandle na gloves na pia wao wamevalishwa zile gloves. Mali wanakushika, of course hawezi julikana ni akina nani, but you can't get them if you want. Lakini because our government is just as stupid as they are, they don't follow up. They are supporting another country instead of supporting their country. Hawezi mind hata kutafuta kitu kama hiyo. But if you want to know how watu wa Tanzania wenye walikuwa wanatutocha hivi, you are torturing a lady kwa abdomen, mpaka anafeel mpaka kuambia so you just do it at the right place than doing it because it's painful. A whole man. Do you have kids? If I may ask, do you have kids where uko na wasichana ama uko tu na watoto? And then one day umezeeka umekaa pale, sawa, ndio akili yako sasa inaanza kufikiria vitu ambavyo ulikuwa unafanyia watu, and then you hear
ngoja
son somewhere
amefanyiwa. Read this. Pale kuna Gypsy anasema actors without the Broadway experience. Hey, Gypsy, just come to my DM, and just tell me that there. It is good what you're saying. I have thought about this one actually. You know what I thought? So, I thought like, what if? What if I say wamekanjwa? Ukaambiwa shika milioni 10 sasa hivi leo useme ulirepiwa nanga. Hautakubali? Autalia. But no, I have two sides of this thing.
Lakini waje nikwambie, mimi usijaribu kwa wakati na mimi kitu ya kulia. Kama machozi yangu hakuna.
Ule majalia sana. Ule amelia.
Demo yani ule ndo banalia pole pole. Sawa? Acha nikwambie. Mimi wakati na mimi historia ya kulia na sina machozi. Uko na shida.
Nawaambia ongeza nitatumia 5. Ongeza 5 nitasema mpaka Suluhu mwenyewe ndo alikuja kuweka vidole.
Aki,
you will pay me. I will tell you add 5 more equal 15M. I will proclaim.
Na unichune make sure
No, mimi usinichune. Mimi utajua I'm an actor naturally.
Pale.
Sawa.
My friend, machozi kutoka si rahisi hivyo. Ya kufake. Hai.
Ya kufake. Machozi when you go to set you cry. Nieke hapo uniambie action. This is a crying scene.
Mimi nakaa hapa kando na I wanna see machozi hivi. Mimi nikasirishe, alafu niambie enda act. Ukinikasirisha uniambie enda act story ya kulia. Na kunini? Hiyo hata utaniambia fanya hivi. I'll do it perfectly. Lakini ya kwenda ati niende nianze kufake machozi, nienda sijui naanza kufake nini? Jamani. Nitakufeel.
Mimi nilizaliwa nikiwa mwigizaji. Kwa hiyo mambo kama hayo I drive.
Mimi ukitaka nikuigizie, niweke pale pa bad woman. Nipo tu bad woman. Ever serious. Hapo ndo kama ulikuwa unanipa milioni unanilipa bilioni.
So Gypsy anasema, sawa? I'm laughing Zulfa because it's fake, paid goons, okay? Hi Zulfa, this one, no bullshitare. Sawa, tell her hi. Hi, how are you? How are you, Gypsy? How are you? Sijamwona ameenda Istizu. Unajua hiyo ni hiyo ngoma?
Sijui.
You know that song? That's Tanzanian song that showed us that they don't know Swahili. They don't know English. And then if they were really abused, sawa, these people would be looked after in the hospital. I'm not buying bullshitare. Sawa? And then even that Rose Njeri is Rose Nyeri. It is Njeri. Umepita wapi?
Huwa anasema umsamee na spellings ya names.
Na lazima tu bado nimsomboe. Lakini umepita wapi? Umekuja tu na violence. Umekuja na violence.
What have you eaten or drunk today?
Where did you pass though? Where did you pass? Sawa. But let me ask you a question, my dear. Sawa. Nishike vizuri ndo nikuulize swali ambayo inakaa serious, ya? If these people are really just like, but then ngoja kidogo, Gypsy, why are you questioning the Rose Nyeri one? Why are you questioning? God, why are you questioning?
Inaweza kuwa fake.
You know, ngoja, let us question this kidogo. So, every top-notch lawyer that is against the government, they are there. But bado ngoja niseme, siniona ule mkubwa wa JSK, ndagwa JSK, yeah? Hiyo ya my lawyers and all that, that's a community. It's walikuwa, sawa, washatangaza kwamba ashiliwe ama apewe nini. Of which now, at the same time, Kalonzo is an advisor of, obviously, ako pale. It is confusing. But Gypsy, you tell us your reason now. Sawa? Why would you, let me see. I'm not commenting on this crap again. We laugh because it is laughable. You know what you know, you shall tell me what you know later. So, unaweza semaje kwenye history?
Sasa mmenifunja roho.
Venye ulikuwa unalia juu unalia alafu tunakwambia inaweza kuwa fake. Kuage na hiyo unko nami nikipasua.
Mimi na wewe nani amekuwa akipasua juu ya hii story?
Wewe nilipasua ile place alia. But I'm not laughing at a man cry. No, it wasn't that point of laughing at a man cry. Because I usually say I want a man who cries actually.
But you know, let me tell you people something. My fellow Kenyans, my people, my fellow ladies, my fellow women, my fellow girls, okay? Here is Waka. So, I'm telling you this, even men, boys, those gentlemen, nyinyi wote, nawaambia hivi. If you're doing something, you have to know that there is some days you will be in a very bad situation, and it's the truth. Ni ukweli kabisa, you are in a situation that imekushika and you're supposed to tell people, na it's very tight. You cannot move, you cannot do anything. Because watu washazoea Kenya ni nchi ambayo Kenya ni nchi ambayo watu wanapenda kutengeneza scripts zao, wana act kivyao, wanafanya kitu mpaka inakuwa real. So utafanya hivyo ikwe tumekuzoea. Tushakuzoea, you're that person who unafanya hivyo, inakuja baadaye inaonekana ni nini? Inaonekana ilikuwa ni propaganda tu, ni vitu tu zenye ulikuwa unafanya ili kujifaidisha wewe ama kufaidisha mtu fulani. Ama because mtu fulani amekutuma hivi alikuwa anataka akupe pesa, ama ulikuwa unataka pesa, ushapewa pesa na ushafanya ile kitu. Sawa? There is a time utakuwa in a serious situation that utakuja useme and we just take it. Huyu ametumemzoea kuanga tu hivyo. Na ni serious sasa tutashtuka ile wakati amekufa, kumbe ilikuwa ukweli. Msizoee sana kufanya vitu zingine ambazo zitakuja kudhulumu wakati mwingine. Let me tell you guys, I used to lie a lot. Me, if you want to know my lies, go and ask my grandmother. She will tell you, this lady, na uongo. Hey, na nikitaka kukudanganya naweza kudanganya vibaya sana. But I told God I don't want to have this spirit because inanipeleka. Kuna siku nilienda nasema ukweli, wakaona ni ile uongo nimezoea kusema. And it was serious. Now they came to find is true, is the reality when they saw me in that situation now with their naked eyes. So Kenyans, my fellow people, please, my fellow Kenyans, this is our country. Let's use some things. Usitumie ile kitu yenye inaenda extreme. Usi-exaggerate. Yaani hata kama una act fanya zile vitu yenye unajua hii hata by the time wanagundua ni act mimi nishapara zangu. Alafu hizi vitu weird zenye zina touch. Alafu I don't know why you do hizi vitu zina touch watu. Alafu at the end of the day tunakuja tunagundua ni vitu ilikuwa fake. Mmefake tu hapo. Kuna wakati utakuwa in a very bad situation. You know like this for raping, unaingizwa vitu huko nyuma, unafanyiwa madhara, whatever, that all. Huh? You are taking it like a joke. There is some day, or there is a day that itakufikia hivi. My friend, utashindwa kuhandle. Na because umezoea inakuwa mnakuanga fakers, mna fake tu. Vitu mnakuja mnatuwekea hapo. Si tukae hapo. He was raped. This what happened to him or to her. Oh, what? Okay. And then tunakuja tunagundua ni uongo. My friend, mi usema usiye nidanganya. Cause utanidanganya tu leo. Nitakubali tu nidanganye. Wewe nidanganye tu, you are free to lie to me. But the day I'll know the reality. And then you know my true faces and my true colors. Because I don't condone that nonsense actually. Let's respect some things. Come on, this story is not a story to joke with. It's not something that you're gonna just come here and tell us, and then when tukikuja tukufanya uchunguzi, like I told you, if the government wanted to do this thing, wanaweza jua ni nani walikuwa wameshika, ni police station gani walikuwa wameenda huko TZ, ni watu gani hao walikuwa wanatocha. My friend wangekuwa walishajua. And if they were tortured or they were not, ama ni kitu tu walipanga serikali ya Kenya na huko ilipanga ifanyike hivyo, ikuwe hivyo. Kuja kutu distraction. Good. It's coming as something like distraction. Wanajaribu kudistract. Kama ulikuwa reject finance bill una switch. Kama ulikuwa uende ufanye maandamano ya kitu una switch. Huko unaanza kufikiria hii yenye imehappen kwanza hapa sasa. These people, they are clever, but let me tell you, you are not clever as we are right now. We are so much clever than you. You are clever, but we are so much clever than you. We are, tulishamaka akili zenu.
Tushawajua.
Yani tulishawajua, yani tushawajua, yani we are just moving with it. Distraction. But they
already distracted you something.
Na vitu tu hivi. Na wanakuja na ile kitu ina touch. Unajua,
bro, cheki. Bro, niangalie. Uso dote pe mtangapi? Ushagusishwa kwanza, si ndio? Si kama ingekuwa ni mimi huko ningedu, but unajua si mimi, but cheki. Wewe ndio udu, kwa nini? Sawa. Endo ulie. Mwange na kubugeza mita kwa le. Wallahi.
Wacha bado msizoe kusema uongo. Sometimes itakuza.
But we are Kenyans though.
But sometimes itakuza. Uongo ni mbaya mimi iliniuza vibaya sana. Sasa ile kitu
unajua ndio malishtuka, like fiti tulikuwa tulie, but bro man. Cheki. Let me read comments, okay? Let me see what my Gypsy is saying. Gypsy, I'm going to dedicate a song to you. There's this song called Gypsy by Shakira. By Shakira, yeah. Go see that song. And as a Zulfa, there's nowhere in the world a doctor will give you 2 orthopedic boots to wear. You only get one. Check out Boniface Mwangi with his boots walking, red flag. Okay? I'm gonna check out actually. Aya. Then anasema Kenya should be nominated for a gong. The way we do things, yeah? Talent here.
They're talented.
Talents. Show me your talents. Let me show you.
Today I'm gonna show you my talent.
Yeah, the talents. Now, if this did happen really to Mwangi, it is the most cruel thing that you could go through. And I apologize on behalf of Tanzania. Questions of Reyesa nikifanya shughuli. You know? I do, on a serious note actually. I'm not being sarcastic or anything. So stop looking.
Mimi ningekuwa president wa Tanzania wote sasa wangekuwa lishahama Kenya.
Sawa.
Ningeanza tu na Zulfa hapa ndani.
Sasa unaona.
Zulfa ndiye angekuwa mstari kipaumbele na dera. Sasa tunamtafutia ile dera kubwa.
Jora. Na kijora.
Naambia mama nenda. Shika watu wako mkono.
Mbona so mimi? Sawa, mbona so mimi kama Samia basi mshamwacha. Hata sasa mambo ya Samia mimi. Hata ni fail hata yeye mwenyewe.
Hata umjui.
Hata simjui, sijamsikia Samia. Samia mjani anauza mbaazi, ama mjani?
Mimi najua tu ule wa mbaazi ule.
Basi kama wewe utampigia simu
ama ule wa mnazi pale.
It's really bad though. So if Mwangi really Mwangi and Agatha, you did go, let me tell you, rape touches somewhere in my heart. Like that thing really inafanyaga kichwa yangu it's just something I never. So I'm gonna say, if Mwangi you did really go through that, you and Agatha, I'm gonna say that is the cruelest thing that someone could do. Because I'm a person actually, when I say that, I'm a person that if don't touch me. Even till you know that. If you talk to me, do not touch me. You don't have to touch me anywhere. You can just talk to me ukiwa pale kando. I don't like those people who are just like sijui na kugusa. I hate that. Like I hate that so much.
Ninapenda kugusa.
Mimi usiniguse.
Lakini not.
Unasema anasikia baya kile sasa hivi mtu ambaye mmoja ni mtu ambaye hata and that thing conductor, even the conductor is just touching you. Etiingia kwa gari usiniguse bro. Usiniguse, niambie. Wanigusa kwa nini? Niulize hata jina nikwambie uniite jina langu. I don't like people touching me at all. So basically that's why I feel if you really did go through that, it is the most your privacy was violated, your everything was violated. So I'm really, really sorry, and I do apologize on behalf of Tanzania. I am sorry. No one should go through that. No man, no woman should go through that. You should be touched only when you want to be touched. And people put in things, even all the right things to be put in your place. They are putting things that shouldn't be put there. That is shame on that government. If that is how they deal.
Tundulisu.
Yeah, thank you. Is Tundulisu being done the same? You know? Wanamfanya hivyo. Wanamvuja makalioni. So bad. So bad. So bad. And if our government did really know that you're going through that and they did nothing, shame on our government too. But if then you're faking, shame on you. Okay? And your generation. Shame on you. If you're faking this. If you're there's something I love so much as my tears. Because when I shed them, you know, I really felt. Na ujana nikilia kwa hii story. I really felt. Ukiona nimelia mse. That thing has really touched me. So my tears are gold. Do not make me just shed them. I don't shed just tears.
Lakini hata ukiangalia story by the way, angalia vizuri. Unajua nakaa tu hapa nikimagine venye kwa nimeconcentrate naye. Mwangi venye amemaliza kubonga. Mwana venye amesignal ule mwingine. Ule.
Wapi?
Venye alimsignal.
Alimsignal wapi?
Ni yeye time yake kuongea.
Wasi alifanyaje?
Unaona venye alimsignal? Ile yani unajua tu ni umbea, ni kama umbea.
Uongo. Wote kipenzi zimeisha wabongo ni yako sasa. Si story yake imeisha. Get. What is signal hivi? Mimi naweza kuambia ni sasa. Omba unga.
Still you are the one going
to that shit. See, mse. Haya, fiti. Haya, poa basi.
So, alafu huyu venye amepewa chance, hana words.
Si ashachukua. Oje kuna uongo sisi tunaweza na kudanganya mimi na wewe. Nione umeenda mpaka niko like, Hey, hapa ndaingilia. Hizi points zingine za Haga zilikuwa zangu. Sawa, hizi points za Haga zilikuwa zangu umeshaji.
Sasa unasema tu sasa the other one ni ya nani? The way just Mwangia said. What ile yenye amefanyiwa ile amefanyiwa ndio pia mimi nilifanya
2 months off.
Ndio mimi pia nimefanyiwa.
Alichukua points za demo walae. Ule actor mwenyewe, let me tell you the something I did wrong back when I was acting. So we were given this set where we hated this girl. So basically we meet that girl and then now we talk trash about that girl. Then this girl said a certain point that was really good. So when we were doing our reshots, you know, a retake of that scene, I said those words. So she looked at me like,
Wamba unachukua words zangu.
Nafaa kusema na ushachukua zangu.
But
yeah, so that is bad. That is bad. So let me read this one. Gypsy anasema, Tilda, do Ruto, please. Do Ruto. Do the voice of Ruto. They love her in newspeak.
You love me being Ruto.
How do you think Ruto is going to handle this? Anasema what? But Ruto has never really spoken about it.
Si nyinyi wa Kenya mnajua? Sio mambo ndio hao watu wanafanyanga. Sisi tutapita nao tu hiyo siku asubuhi na mapema na waende nyumbani wakilia. Ama mnaonaje wangwana?
Now send for soup. Send for cabbage. Send for cabbage, Gypsy. Cabbage. Okay. Then Zulfa will
wait for gas.
Yeah, for gas. Yeah. You want for gas or cabbage?
No, I want for gas.
Okay. Now, Zulfa, when the fakeness is proven, you owe me filed. I'm a future party is not Ruto's machine made. So let me tell you. First of all, I owe you small cha. Because like that is a delicacy. Like I want to take you to like 10 because they are different. When you make mutura. No, you don't even know mutura. Oh my God. Gypsy, let us link up. Let us link up and do this. Okay? I'm going to take you to 10 different people. Different. I just want you to try smocha. We go here, like just food smocha tasting. So, yes, I will make you chapatis if this is fake. Sour. And I will still take you to smocha places because I want you to know the delicacies of this place, yeah? Mm-hmm. So we have roughly some minutes. What would you say, Taylor?
Sasa si mimi nimewaambia Wakenya. Sasa si wanajua mambo hao watu wanafanya ni yale ya uongo. Si mimi niliwaambia nitajenga ile barabara. Si mnaona sasa barabara iko sawa? Si niliwaambia nitajenga zile nyumba. Si mnaona mkuru wa jenga imeisha. Si mnaona nishapeana funguo. Mimi ni wa kazi bila break ama mimi ni wa siasa mtu. Haya, si tutawashinda asubuhi na mapema. Mnaonaje nyewe wangwana? So that is our Ruto, our president. That's so nice. Na huyo tu peke yake ndio president nimeshika sauti yake mimi.
By the way,
sijai imitate mwingine.
Mjana katia wase.
But my people. Yeah? You are the people of the people to the people of the people. Let me tell you. And I'm telling you now as I finish my statement, because when I'm just done, when you hear my name, know that I'm done and I'm leaving the studio. Now, to go and have some, I think Zulfa wants to buy us mocha. Gypsy, we are there in Zulfa's pocket. Okay. You know, like there is some things that people are doing outside here. Kama by the way vitu saizi na happen kila kitu inakuwa ni kama ni scripts then zimekuwa zimeandikwa zenye watu wanakuja wanafanya. By the way, there's something that Koech said and I said too. Isn't distractions zenye tunaletewa zitu distract ndio tusifocus na ile vitu tunafanya ama na vitu government inafanya. And actually, we are so much focused in it because we know that's what we always do. Kwanza mahali mlikosea ni mahali mlitu distract na Raila naenda AUC. Tukasahau mambo yenye tulikuwa tunaandamana, tulikuwa tuna reject finance, tulikuwa tunafanya tuna demonstrate kwa watu wale walikufa ile damu ilimwagika. We forgot all that and we focused on AUC. Yeah? So like right now, you are coming with other things. But my friends, my people, we are so much focused on what we want. Like right now, we are focused on the good leadership. That on those leaders who will come for the country and not for the individual people. Whether they are wealth or not. Yeah? Yani, government imekaa hivi ikaona ituletee tu vitu ya ajabu. Itufanyishie tu, yani itufanyishie vitu hapa zenye tunaangalia hivi tunakufa moyo. Nasema sasa ona. Alafu waambie wadanganyie mtu mwingine, and we know actually everything that is happening ni government too. Ni government cause unaona hata watu wenye wanakuja kufanyia hiyo vitu ni watu wenye wana slide out of the government, wanakuja wakiingia government ingine ama ni nyingine wanakuwa wameshakuwa wabaya sasa. They know now our secrets zitaenda. You see? So that's why hao watu wanashikwa wanaenda wanafinywa. Hata akitoka hapa hizi ongea shit. Hata akiongea ni ile yenye atakuwa ameambiwa aenda ongea hivyo. But I always see like these people are always plan on what they are going to do. And okay, they always plan. That's always a plan. Mwende mshike, nyi mtaenda mfinye, nyi mtaenda mchukue mwende mtupe kwa mahali fulani, alafu nyi mtaenda mchukue mwende mpeleke hosi. Alafu nyi madaktari nyi ndio mtamhudumia, hii room ndio mtamweka. Sawa? Na hakuna mtu akukam kumuona. Una get? Hivi kweli by then naenda vizuri kumbe. Hata unapata doa anaweka kwa mfuko na life inasonga. Sisi wa Kenya huku nje kama bado tunapiga midomo, tunasema the way we have no job opportunities, the way we have no good education, the way we don't have whatever good health, good the way we don't have good health, the way we are struggling outside here, the way economy is not smiling on our faces anymore. What is the meaning of hustler? Hustler is that person mwenye anatafuta vitu zake kwa jasho yake kabisa. Mwenye anafanya kazi ngumu, kazi mzito. Lakini wetu wenye alienda hapo akasema venye yeye ni hustler, venye whatever, ata make maisha ikuwe sawa, ndio kweli. Walisema maskini akipata mataka uliambwata. So, this is what is happening now. Maskini wetu hustler wetu alishapata. Sasa ashikiki apatikani. Aongeleshwa akasikia.
Alishaliambwata.
Alishalia.
Mwingine anasema hataki yake alie ndo msijue ameshapata msimombe.
Lakini hivyo ni vizuri. Ukishapata
yalie. Yasilie.
Yasilie jamani, yatulize. Yaambie keti. Tulia. Manake hao watu
actually who are these waengas though? Cause who really sat down akiwa jaba akakaa akasema
lakini for sure
yaulia.
For sure
yaulia.
Chiki tu mse mwenye amebet akawin ile marathon anatokanga.
Ile mmoja
akitembea
mbwata.
Yani hata akai ungekuwa unatoka. kiguna njia. Kiguna njia.
This was me she received to that in Nishaenda. Now I'm calling Uber. Like, what? Who works? No. Ubers. So I get you trying to say. So, nakuwa mheshimiwa hiyo siku. Haya basi. I see your name, then we finish.
My name is Tilda, and we really appreciate kabisa kuwa nanyi siku ya leo. Mbarikiwe sana na Mungu awe pamoja nanyi. Amina.
Amina. Haya, Gypsy we checker, but I'm gonna meet you soon. We go for the smocha thing. We go testing. There are different types, you know, because I'm even scared now you don't know what mutura is. You don't. And if you have any Kenyan friends, please drop them if they have not really shown you what is mutura. So, now, my name is Julfa.
Julfa.
Akili njani kwenye akili. Sasa, my name is Zulfa, and again, I say thank you, Gypsy, you know. So you know what you are to us and to me. And bye-bye. Let's meet here tomorrow. Try to upload videos. Kwa Facebook na hiyo.